My name is Angel. My speech, I am going to try to persuade you that yes or no, should boxing be illegal? So, when we think about boxing, we think about entertainment. We think about the big names that come with boxing, which is like Ali, Canelo, Mayweather, Mike Tyson, Pacquiao. The list goes on and on. And I'm sure everyone has their own personal favorite or knows of someone's personal favorite. Either way, boxing is just another form of entertainment. The official term for a boxer is just a person who fights with gloved fists. There are different levels to being a boxer. You have the novice and elites out of the amateurs, and then you have the professionals. But there are also levels within those levels, but we're just going to go talk about professionals. And so now that we have that paved out, our main question is, should boxing be illegal? Yes, boxing should be illegal. With its faulty business, dangerous outcomes, and long-term injury, it shouldn't be a question why it should be banned. So, the problems with boxing is bad business deals, it's dangerous, long-term injury, and aggressive behavior. Boxing, being one of the biggest sports in entertainment, promotes aggressive behavior, is dangerous, and is overall bad business. What a lot of people don't see is just how bad some of the business deals professional boxers take. With every professional boxer, it's all about the money. Hence, Money Mayweather. Sorry. A lot of the time, the fights are fixed, meaning a person is already set to win if they can pull it off in the ring. And with that being a factor, you have the money-craved managers and promoters that have boxers in a chokehold most of the time. And like every manager, they have a say over the boxer. So a lot of the time, boxers will sign themselves over on a contract and have no choice but to take bad business deals. And because money is the main factor, it's unlikely that the boxer will just walk away even if it's in their best interest. In the article, Why I Want to Get Out by William Dennis Fugazi, who is a businessman and boxing promoter in the 1900s, he states, "I cannot ignore the corruption I found. From top to bottom, professional boxing in the United States is sick. There are men on state boxing commissions who abuse their positions by accepting and sometimes demanding favors from promoters. There are promoters who take loans and sometimes orders from racketeers. There are managers who mishandle and sometimes cheat their fighters. And there are fighters who throw punches and sometimes matches at hoodlums' command. Yet, even though the boxing business in today's age is much different, it still roots from the businesses they dealt with back then." And on the right is Fugazi, and then everyone knows Mayweather. With business being the largest factor in the legality of boxing, it's still an aggressive sport that promotes aggressive behavior within fans across the world. Sometimes you get news about boxers getting assault charges or even domestic assault charges, and in nowhere is that good news, good for the media and news. And that's Tank Davis. He just recently got arrested for a domestic charge 11 days before his fight, and he still got to fight. And not only is it visibly noticeable how dangerous the sport is, but health officials are also concerned. Stated in the article, Punching to Fortune or to the Grave by the World Medical Journal, it says, "Studies prove that boxing is a dangerous sport associated with devastating injuries and chronic neurological damage to its participants. Despite this, boxing still has a huge following worldwide, and concerned health bodies have expressed serious concern about the dangers associated with the sport. And that's all the more reason boxing should be legal. And this is a like a brawl that happened at the fight. So following the dangers that come with the sport are the injuries. Amongst all types of boxing, injury is inevitable, and unfortunately, casualties are also a factor. With 51% of injuries being to the facial area, we can all attest that receiving multiple blows to the head will result in concussions and long-term head trauma. And this is just a thing I found. For example, Muhammad Ali's illness, Parkinson's disease, was caused by multiple head injuries over his lifetime. And he's one of the biggest names in boxing. It's only a matter of time before all our most big-name professional boxers step into those same shoes. The latest and unfortunate casualty in the United States was Patrick Day in 2019. Eddie Hearn, being the most recent promoter, stated that boxing needs to become safer. But how does a sport with the sole intention of hurting the opponent become a safer sport? And also as Eddie, being the face of boxing promotions, has to say those things in order for the sport to stay in the entertainment business. Because that's all boxing is entertainment and business. Most argue that it is the boxer's own judgment when stepping in the ring that they are responsible for their own fate, whether it be winning or losing or even dying. The boxers step in the ring sometimes solely just for the money, and that's just bad business because it's promoting potentially dangerous outcomes for the sake of a payout. One thing that can maybe be a better business for boxing is to establish a better committee to create a healthier way of receiving the payout and not letting promoters do all the talking. Boxers are told to keep quiet all the time. Another solution to slow down boxing would be less exposure. The less people see boxing, the less boxing there is to be done. No one will want to box, no one will make bets, and overall no one would get hurt anymore. Or it can just get banned altogether. Make boxing illegal for the sake of the people getting lifelong injuries or losing their lives over money. If they wanted to keep the business rolling, then make the deals fair, make it a lifelong payout for the families that lose their loved ones. Make it into a committee that isn't potentially dangerous if you side with the wrong person. Make it so someone has to be looking out for the health of a boxer. Quit letting the money speak over the health of a human's life. Yet we can all conclude that boxing is too much of an entertainment to ever become banned. Some things to do to change that are to obtain evidence, interview old boxers or injured boxers to get their take on if it should be banned or not. Start a study on the neurological aspects of a boxer from the moment they step in the ring to the moment they call it quits or are forced to quit due to injury, in order to prove to the entire world that boxing should be banned. Thank you.